Hi everyone. Today in this video, I wanted to have a chat about the earlier stages of the twin flame journey. I feel like the later end of the twin flame journey is spoken about a lot. Everything's about union, everything's about coming into oneness, everything's about, you know, the union, it seems like. And that is an integral part of the journey, yeah, for sure. I won't, discount that. And I think soon I will do a video on union as well and what it is to come into union. So that is on my list of videos to create as well. It's definitely probably the most important part of the journey. What came to me though was feeling for the people who have just been activated onto this journey, or they're in like the really early stages of the dark night of the soul and things like that. They don't really know what's going on yet. They don't really know what a twin flame is. I remember at the very start of my journey, like I had no idea what a twin flame was. I didn't know that this person was my twin flame. Um, the way that I found out was that the twin flame, this twin flame concept kept coming up on my social media. And it sparked my curiosity enough for me to look into it. When I actually did look into it, it was everything that I had been experiencing with this person. So then I went obviously down the rabbit hole of researching all this, trying to find my way through it. So it does take a while. Some people obviously do know what twin flames are and maybe know from the very start that they've met their twin flame. That wasn't the case for me. So I guess, it took me a while to actually figure out what a twin flame was and that this was a twin flame path. And then, even in that, there was a lot of doubt. So at the beginning, there was so much doubt that, is this actually real? Like, this isn't, because I didn't know what twin flames were. I was like, this doesn't seem real. This can't be real. And but in the background as well, in the subconscious, there was this knowing, and that's what a lot of twin flames will talk about, is the knowing. So the knowing that this person is profoundly, profoundly significant in your life. There's just something, it's like nothing else you've ever experienced. And you won't be able to break that bond with that person no matter how hard you try. So as time goes on, you will start to really resonate with all this stuff, and you will really start to, come into the realization and, start to trust that inner knowing instead of, you know, just listening to your ego all the time, and the ego trying to say that this isn't real, you're making things up, this can't be a thing, and all that sort of stuff. So I really just wanted to talk to that, and just talk about the earlier stages of the twin flame journey, and just give you some reassurance if you are on that, or are in that kind of really early phases of the journey. Just give you some encouragement to keep pushing past that. And we just want to know that the universe is guiding you through, this whole ascension process and this whole journey. So as much as you can, you want to trust that inner guidance and that inner knowing. Once you get to the later stages, that will become a natural kind of thing where you just end up, living from that embodiment and that soul guidance, and you live from the soul. You don't live from the ego anymore. But until you get there, it's, you're going back and forth from ego, and but you had this really, inner knowing inside, and it's like this confliction, all the time. What I wanted to get across is, if you're in the early stages, as much as you can, try and trust that inner knowing, because you will have that inner knowing inside of yourself. You will know, this is profound, this is mystical, this is something not, you know from the 3D. This connection is so much more than anything that we can perceive in our 3D. And that's exactly what it is. It is so much more. It is you and your counterpart, which is your same soul reincarnated twice in one lifetime, to come and wake each other up in the same lifetime. Like, it is the most profound thing that you will go through in your entire life. If you have been, if your soul has chosen this twin flame path in this lifetime, it is the most profound thing that you are going to go through in your life. There is nothing that's going to compare to it. So, although in those earlier stages it is really, really tough. You're going into that soul shock, you're going into then the depths of the dark night of the soul. You don't know what's going on, you don't know up from down, you don't know right from wrong. There's doubt, there's so much fear that's coming up. There's so much fear. um there's so much pain. There's so much pain. And then, you're having these crazy spiritual experiences, and you're having kundalini, and you're having, kundalini energy, and you're having just such profound shifts happening. It's really, really intense. And then you still kind of need to show up in your everyday 3D life. It kind of sometimes seems impossible. It's just know that it does get better the further you get along on this path. The the thing that will trip you up on the path is listening to your ego. The quicker that you surrender to this path, the quicker that you will get through it. However, this will be led, the timing and everything will be led by the soul as well. But you can play your part in making this unfold easier, or you can dig your heels in the ground and you can make it harder for yourself. There is no right or wrong, but it is going to be easier if we're, you know, walking the path instead of trying to dig our heels in and not look at everything that's coming up for us to look at. In the earlier stages as well, this is just, quite frankly, something that has to play out. We have to go through this dark night of the soul to get to the other side. So just know that it is a process, and it is happening for a reason, and a higher reason, and a higher purpose. It's pushing you to be the highest version of yourself, and with every shift that happens throughout the journey, you will shift closer and closer to being that higher version of yourself. So just know that there is that light at the end of the tunnel, if you want to call it that. And this does serve a higher and grander purpose in your life. This will shift you into the highest into your highest timeline. This is an amazing, amazing gift that you have been given, that you could have been given in your life. So you will come to a place of gratitude for the journey. You might not be there yet, and there's a lot of teachers out there who, like, talk about all these things, and unity, and high vibrational frequencies, and 12D this, and like grid work and all this stuff. And that is amazing. But when we're talking about the early stages of the journey, this gets really confusing, and I think that's what keeps a lot of people stuck and just keep them looping on the journey. So I would say be very discerning about who you're listening to, who you're getting your information from. It is hard sometimes when you're early on and you don't know, you can't really decipher whether someone is maybe a true twin flame or not. There is a lot of distortion out there in the twin flame community. When you get into the later stages, you can pretty much pinpoint straight away if someone's a twin flame or not. And if you're a twin flame, you will probably know what I'm talking about. You can sort of decipher within one of their videos whether they know what they're talking about or not. So have that awareness that also, the twin flame community is not all twin flames. There are a lot of people who think they're twin flames who are not twin flames. So just have that discernment as well, and really feel into the coaches that you're listening to. And because I went down the rabbit hole of as well of listening to people who didn't necessarily know what they were talking about, and it kept me probably looping for months that I didn't need to be. Once I got on to, a really good coach, and it just started to really resonate with me, everything that she was saying, everything was just like, yeah, that really resonates. So if you find a really good one, um, that's just, it's going to propel you on your journey, and it's going to, if they have the tools and the guidance and the everything, you can get through this ascension process so much easier. And so, like, if you can find a coach that's going to give you that the right guidance, the right tools, and the right way through the path, you're going to get through this ascension so much easier. Not that it's going to be easy, but it's like everything. If you have the tools and you have the awareness and what you need to do to get through it, it's like full steam ahead. So as soon as I knew, I went through probably about a year of, yeah, maybe about a year, probably about a year of, going around and around and, you know, doubting the journey and then knowing the journey and blah, 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 all this stuff, just going around in circles. And I just got so exhausted by it. Um, the right coach, kind of popped up, and, I went with that. I purchased a, a twin flame program from them. I got coaching from them a few times as well. Um, Listened to a few other twin flame coaches that seemed, on point as well. And that really, really catapulted my journey. Uh, Once I started diving into what I really needed to do to transmute all this pain and energy that I was feeling from the journey. So yeah, my tips would be use your discernment with the coaches that you listen to and the content that you listen to. Don't go into twin flame collective energy updates or tarot readings. I never did those sort of things, but those things will keep you seriously, seriously looping, and you'll just watch endless, endless amounts of tarot readings thinking that that's going to be the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. Um, yeah, so just know that this journey gets better as time progresses on, and just know that this journey does take time. So you are going to get there. You are going to make shifts, and the more shifts you make, every single shift that you make shifts you higher into higher frequencies and higher consciousness. So every little shift that you have, every little thing, every little shift, every little nudge is pushing you further and further along on the journey, and then eventually, you will come into that unity consciousness space, come into your soul purpose or your soul mission, and anchor those states of unity within yourself, which is it is an amazing place to be. It's the best, like, hands down place that you would have ever been in your whole life, because you're coming back to the truth of who you are, the truth of yourself. You're coming back to love. You're coming back to love with yourself as well, not just with everyone else. You're coming back to your true essence and your true love, and you're coming back into self-respect, and you're coming back to, so your boundaries and your self-respect and your self-love will be impeccable. No one will be able to break your boundaries. No one will be able to overstep your boundaries, because your self-love and your self-worth will be at such a high level. Even if I was a people pleaser. I was, notorious people pleaser. I was, codependent in previous relationships. I'm an empath, which, most twin flames are probably empaths as well. Um, you know, all that sort of stuff. And now I've never been in a place in my whole life where my self respect and my self boundaries and my self worth have been at this level. And it feels so amazing, to not give away your power anymore, and to not let people walk all over you anymore. You still have a lot of love and a lot of compassion. You still have a lot of empathy, um, but you're not a doormat. You're not letting people walk all over you all the time. You've healed those parts of you. Um, you've really brought them all in and healed them. You've seen them. You've seen them, and you've transmuted them, and you've let them go. So you don't self-sabotage anymore, in relationships as well. So you're not self-sabotaging relationships. You are just holding really self-loving boundaries with everyone, and people will feel that energy from you. It's not even like you have to be like, no, um, this person can't do this and you can't do that and blah blah blah. People will literally feel the energy from you, and they won't be able to penetrate those boundaries